Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for joining me today. Quick video I wanted to do on kind of a comparison of these two watches. So very similar but very different watches. But first of all, let's do a wrist check. So this is my newest watch, and that is my Helm Komodo with the white dial and kind of turquoise powder blue indices. Really cool watch, and I'm going to do a video on that probably next. So what do we have? We've got what's commonly referred to as the MM200, maybe the Baby Marine Master or the Marine Master Reduced. And so this is the SPB299, and this is the SPB383. So very similar and also very different. And where they're similar, or where they're the same, so both of them have this MM200 style case. The case is identical on these, and so 42 millimeter 4 o'clock crown. It's got the polished and brushed, so you got polished, brushed, brushed on top there. Very dynamic case, and these are absolutely beautiful. This is one of my favorite watches, which is why I'm doing this video. So case is the same, case back is the same. The bracelet is going to be similar. A lot of things are similar, but just not quite the same. So the biggest and most noticeable difference is obviously that dial. So this 299, that is a Save the Ocean glacier dial with that kind of glacier blue, light blue dial with the texture, and it is absolutely stunning. You can see there, I'm trying to keep the light reflection out of the direct crystal there, but you can see how textured and how dynamic that dial is. The 383 just has a plain black kind of matte finish dial, and it's a really nice matte finish. I actually really love this dial because it's just so clean, right? There's a lot of stuff on it, but it's still very clean. Now, they also have totally different bezels. So the insert is very similar, but not quite the same. On the 383, you can see that loom pip is basically flush and flat there. On the 299, it is shielded, so it's kind of sunken down in there. The bezel itself is quite different. So you see on the 383, you've got this almost more Submariner style bezel with these kind of scallops in there, and it's a little bit more, it's hard to see, but it's almost beveled on the top and the bottom, right? So it's got like almost like a ridge running around the middle of that bezel, whereas on the 299 it's just a flat 90-degree sides coin edge bezel. Pretty simple, pretty similar to the original Marine Master, the 300. And also this bezel is going to be slightly smaller. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see that this one flares out just a bit more. Let's see them side by side there. You can kind of see the profiles there. We'll get it against a lighter background. Now, the crowns are also different. So this one's got a pretty standard looking crown, very similar to like the Turtles and other Seikos, just kind of a fine spline or ridges on there. This one is going to be much more of a coarse texture, and it's going to be much more similar to the texture on the bezel itself. So they're both the same. They work the same. You know, I can get a hold of them just the same, not a big deal. I don't know that really makes all that much of a difference other than visually. But again, visually is most of the differences with these two watches, right? 6R35, and what is the, I can never remember, it's the 6R54, which is basically just the 6R with a GMT. So similar movements, 70-hour power reserve on the 299 and a whopping 72-hour power reserve on the 383. I know everyone kind of chuckles at the whole 70 versus 72, you know, and they said they put it on the dial, automatic 3 days. I'm not going to move the hands because the times are set. And I've actually been running these two for a little over 2 weeks. It's been like 14 days. And I've been wearing both a little bit, and then they've been sitting, and I've been keeping them wound because I wanted to check the accuracy. And so the accuracy on these has been incredible. They're both, you can see the 383 is what, about 7 seconds behind. Let's see there. Yeah, 7-8 seconds behind. And they're both running about 15 to 20 seconds is what they've lost, I believe. I'll have to double check that, but what they've lost in the last 14 days of running nonstop. So less than a second, or no, well, that's a little bit more than a second a day, 2 seconds a day, not even. But that's pretty good in my opinion for considering what they say the expected accuracy is. So I'm just going to give these a wipe here real quick. Now, the bracelets on these are going to be, again, like everything with these watches, similar but so different. So the fit and finish is going to be very much the same. Same clasp. They're going to wear nearly identical. Now, the 299 has got a little bit bigger links, and that middle link is going to be square and flat and kind of raised. Now, I think that does a lot of cool stuff with the light. You can see how that shimmers differently. They both have these polished flat sections, front and back. And so I think that looks really cool. The 383, this one is just more of a traditional oyster style. And you can see those links are basically just all rounded. They're also a fair bit smaller. So let's get these side by side. So you can see how much shorter those are. And I think that will help with getting a much more refined fit, right? Because you can get closer to your actual wrist size. They both have the same 4 micro adjustments. The clasp is exactly the same. So you could potentially get a much more refined fit with the 383 because the links are shorter. Now, I will say I like this one better. I just think it's more dynamic. I think it's more interesting. You can see how different the light looks on those different sections of the links. I don't know, I just like that. I like the contrast of that curved outer links and the flat middle links. I don't know why, I just do. This bracelet is beautiful as well. I think I know everyone harps on Seiko bracelets, but I like them for the most part. You know, the clasp is, it's whatever. The only thing, my biggest complaint is just the diver's extension, and they're not going to get rid of that because that's what makes it part of what makes it ISO compliant, and so they're not getting rid of it. But both of these bracelets I think are absolutely beautiful. I'm an oyster kind of guy, and I mean, these are probably my 2 favorite bracelets of everything I own. Even just, like my turtle's got just a straight standard oyster bracelet. Now, let's talk about bezel action. But first, let me get a sip of water here. All right. So bezel action on these. Get that up by the microphone. Very, very similar. Actually, they're probably about the same. The 383 feels just a little bit better. It doesn't feel as tight. That's what it is. But my guess is that it's because this 383 is newer. That one's essentially like 2 months old. This one's a couple years old. I bought it used. And so, you know, there's a gasket inside of there. And that could potentially use some lubrication to kind of smooth it out. But they're very similar. Same kind of standard Seiko soft clicks, you know, not a lot of back play. both of these for me line up perfectly. So I think I lucked out on those bezels there. As far as I can tell, they're absolutely spot on. They may be off a hair or two, but I really think I lucked out with that. So same lacquered bezel, and this the 299, it's really hard to see in here, but I'll get some pictures out in the sun. It's got that blue, it's like a dark blue, almost black. It's really hard to tell. There you can kind of see that blue shimmer there. So similar accuracy, same case, very similar watches, but drastically different in my opinion. And I wear these two totally different. I love wearing this one when I've got like blue polos and pattern polos, and this one I like wearing with other like solid color shirts, a little bit darker. All right, one thing I should have touched on while I was talking about dials is the handset. So hands are, the hour and minute hand are exactly the same, half brushed, half polished. Really cool looking hands. I love these hands. The 383 obviously has that gold GMT hand, but the biggest difference is going to be that second hand. So you can see identical hand itself, the structure of the hand. The 299 has that the blue secondary marker on that second hand, and the 383 has the red secondary marker. This is kind of the traditional standard look, but I think they did such a good job with this. If they would have made that one red, it would have stuck out so bad. And I know that that's kind of the idea with making it red on this one, but it just would not have matched. I think doing it blue was such a nice little simple touch, you know? So thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for listening to me ramble about, these are two of my favorite watches, and this style case is one of my favorites. So I appreciate you following along. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like, and it'd be much appreciated if you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow the channel and bring you guys more watch reviews and more watch videos, and I can only do that if you guys keep subscribing and keep watching the videos. Thanks very much.